Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. It has been a while since I've uploaded a update. My last pregnancy update was 18 weeks. I am currently 27 weeks pregnant. I know. It's been a long time. I have been uploading videos, but I have not uploaded a pregnancy update. So originally I was going to wait to have a few weeks to let you guys know what's going on, how I was feeling. I was going to do, I think, 4 weeks. So I was going to do 19, 20, 21, and 22. But by the time I got to my 21st week, I did have my anatomy scan. And with that anatomy scan, they're checking, everything for the baby's brain, the baby's heart, the baby's measurements, and all of that good stuff. So during that time, let me just go back. So during my 19 and 20 and 21 week, it was like a breeze. Like, I didn't feel pregnant. As far as like energy wise, I still had energy, still was feeling baby move, still feel baby moving. But it wasn't like any drastic changes to make me continue doing weekly updates or bi-weekly updates. So I decided to hold off a little while longer. So we went to our 20-week, it was our 20-week anatomy scan, but I was 21 weeks. Let me just say that. I was 21 weeks when I went for my 20-week anatomy scan. Went in for my anatomy scan, checked on baby weighing 1 pound, 1 ounce. Very good, pretty much on target. Baby's measuring on target. During that time, he was a little bit over, because on the app it said that he should have been 14 ounces, but he was actually 17 ounces. No, he was actually 16 ounces, 16.1 ounces, something like that. 1 pound, 1 ounce. So 17 ounces. He was 17 ounces, which was kind of on target for where we were going, because it was the day before my 22nd week. So for 22 weeks, baby should be measuring at 1 pound, 5 ounces. So that was just about correct. During this anatomy scan, it was noted that the baby had a heart arrhythmia, meaning that his heartbeat was off rhythm, or not beating in a normal rhythm, which during the sonogram we was able to hear. And once I went for my follow-up appointment, which was the following week, let me see. So once I went to my appointment at 23 weeks, went in for the appointment to get the results of the anatomy scan. Excuse me. And it was mentioned that, the baby had a heart arrhythmia. God, what in the world? And baby had a heart arrhythmia, and that they were referring us to see a fetal medicine doctor to look a little further in depth on the baby's heartbeat, to try and see and find out what the cause may be, if it's something that he can grow out of, or if it's something that would need to be continuously monitored throughout my pregnancy and possibly after. So once we got that news, of course, I did want to scale back a little bit. I wasn't really eager to post an update during that time, or to, share anything during that time, especially because it was, fresh news, and it was around the time that I was planning to do an update, but I decided to just wait, to be honest. And so from that day, the next day, we did get a call from the fetal medicine doctor to set up an appointment for May 16th, which was 2 days ago. But before I go to that, I would say from week 23 until starting week 23 was when I started to really feel pregnant. And it's so weird because it's often on times of where it's I feel pregnant, I don't really feel pregnant. I feel pregnant, I don't really feel pregnant. I actually felt pregnant. I felt so heavy. I could feel that he gained weight. I could feel him, the weight of him in my body. And it became very tiring, especially when it came to standing up to do dishes or laundry or anything like that, trying to bend down to put my shoe on or pick something up. I really at that point felt pregnant, and definitely was looking even more pregnant than before. So I'm definitely gonna put some photos and some videos and stuff over here throughout this video, because I did take a lot of pictures, I did take some videos. So I am going to share the progression of my belly during this time from 19 to 26 weeks, basically. So from 23 weeks up until my 26 weeks, definitely feeling the pressure of being pregnant, the weight of the baby, the placenta, the amniotic fluid, and all of that. But also I was starting to experience, which I kind of was already feeling this off and on, some lightheadedness, linked with a little dizziness, being out of breath, having headaches. And it wasn't until recently, earlier this week, when I went to my appointment for 26 weeks, my blood pressure was a little high. It was 128 over 76 or 78, something like that, which is a little higher than usual. So when I mentioned to my doctor about me having lightheadedness and headaches, it was protocol for them to refer you to a cardiologist or neurologist. So I was able to find a cardiologist and was referred to see one. So I set up an appointment, which I went to yesterday, and I'm still waiting to hear back from the neurologist to be able to go for an appointment with them. So now let me hop back to where I left off. So on the 16th of this week, I did go and have my fetal medicine appointment, where I had basically an ultrasound for 40 minutes. During them 40 minutes, they monitored the baby's heartbeat, really looked into to see the rhythm that the baby's heart was beating, to see if it was a slower than normal heartbeat, faster than normal, if there's pressure, if there's something going on in the valves and things like that. So also they were looking into the baby's brain to check the ventricles and to check to see, the size, and they was just way more in depth than your anatomy scan, basically. So during this appointment, the doctor did refer us to get a echo done on the baby, for us to see a pediatric cardiologist, for them to do an echo on the baby, to be able to look even deeper to see if the baby has a hole in his heart, to see if it is something that he would be able to grow out of, and things like that. The concern I had was when I did go to my appointment on Monday, the day before we went to the fetal medicine appointment, the nurse practitioner was basically saying that going to get this checked out would let them know if they would need to induce me, if they would need to continue to monitor me, and all of these things. And I'm really praying to not be induced, as I do want to have a natural delivery with the least amount of interventions as possible. But at the end of the day, when it comes to my baby and what's going to be best for him, I'm going to do what needs to be done, because it's not about me, it's about him. So now we're waiting to have an appointment set up with the pediatric cardiologist at one of the hospitals in our area. And also during this appointment, it was noted that his left ventricle was mildly enlarged. So he has ventriculomegaly, which is the medical term for it. So the average size is under 10 millimeters, so like 9 millimeters and under. His left ventricle is measuring at 10 millimeters. And majority of the time they say that this is something that happens when there's toxoplasma present, which I don't recall if I had I think I did do like a toxic panel in the beginning of my pregnancy. They always ask you, do you have any cats at home? Because that is a easy way to get toxoplasma, is having, a cat and having to clean out the litter box. They basically carry this toxin that is not good for pregnancy. I do not have a cat, and we don't have cats in our neighborhood or anything like that. So I don't think I've ended up getting introduced to that whatsoever, but I don't exactly know why. But the doctor said that it's not a major worry because it's not over 12 millimeters. Being that it's still 10, they'll continue to monitor it. They did send labs for me to get a toxic panel done to check and make sure that I don't have toxoplasma, to rule that out as a reason why his ventricle is measuring slightly larger than normal and slightly larger than his right side. But outside of that, the doctor did tell me to stop using cocoa butter products, because cocoa butter has been a link in a way to baby having heart arrhythmia issues, which I at first didn't really understand it, but then I did look a little further into it, and cocoa butter does have caffeine, which is like, duh, but that's something that I never even thought of. For one, I just always thought that cocoa butter was good for your skin, good for your stretch marks, good for your belly. But they told me to stop using any cocoa butter products, to reduce any caffeine that I've been intaking, which the only caffeine that I have intake was, maybe a cup of Coca-Cola 2 to 3 times a week. I I did recently have a cup of coffee the day before Mother's Day and on Mother's Day, but I didn't really drink caffeine like that. Also, I guess chocolate has caffeine, so I have chocolate. I will eat chocolate here and there, but not really like majorly craving it. I do drink these pink drinks, which I did look up. This has less than half of the same amount of caffeine that a cup of coffee would have. So that's why I have that, because it's not like a large amount of caffeine. It's only 30 milligrams of caffeine, which a cup of coffee has 95 milligrams of caffeine, depending on what type of coffee you're drinking. You know, whether it's regular or Brazilian, Colombian, espresso, those things would be a lot higher, of course. So outside of that, I've been putting cocoa butter on my belly for the last couple of weeks. So, and when we went to our 14-week ultrasound, baby's heartbeat was fine. So I don't know if the cocoa butter did have something to do with it. He told me to lay off of it and to follow up with him in 4 weeks after I have my lab works done, and for them to redo the scan all over, and for them to check to see if there's any changes in baby's heartbeat and also baby's ventricle. But yes, so far those are the updates, pregnancy updates, as far as what we've been experiencing and been praying through, and you know, trying to stay content through, which is not fully a stressor, because my husband has irregular heartbeat. My husband had dealt with those issues when he was a baby. I currently have an irregular heartbeat. I've been diagnosed since the age of 18 of having cardiomegaly, meaning I have a mildly enlarged heart for my age, my height, my size, especially during that time. And so we're just thinking that it is something that is within the genetics, which thankfully when we did have our NPT or NIT, I can't remember exactly what it's called, the genetic scan, basically there was nothing came back on the genetic scan as far as the baby having any genetic issues. Everything came back normal for him. And so we're just going to continue to pray and to allow God to guide us through this process, and allow God to work, keep his hands on us and keep his hands on our baby as he continues to grow. We're at currently 27 weeks, like I mentioned. So we have literally 13 weeks to go, 12 to 13 weeks to go. And it is going to go by fast. And I know that it's going to go by fast. So we've been, as you've seen in my previous videos, I've been trying to make sure that I reduce the amount of things that would need to get done before baby comes. I've washed some of his clothes, which I do need to wash more. We've set up the bedside nursery, which I don't have an updated picture of the bedside nursery, but I do have a picture of it before we put the crib in the room. A few things that I don't recall mentioning is I did get a medicine ball. Not a medicine ball. I did get an exercise ball for to be able to sit on for my hips, and I really needed that during especially the last few weeks, because my hips have been killing me. Hips have been hurting. And prior to that, I did get a belly pillow, which is also used as a back pillow and between the knee pillow. I've been using that. And it helps somewhat. It is a little firm. So late as of recently, I've been using it in between my legs, in between my knees, to try and keep them separated because my hips have been killing me the last few weeks. Another thing is, I got the exercise ball, the belly thing. Oh, and my breast pump came in the mail from Aeroflow, which I'll have that in the next video because I have not opened it yet. But my Aeroflow breast pump that was covered through my insurance has arrived as of 3 days ago. And I think I had got the Motif breast pump mainly because that one it can be portable or it could be plugged into stationary. So I did get that one because I wanted something similar to the Spectra breast pumps, because you just never know when you might be, on the road or traveling somewhere, or, just being in the house and don't want to be attached to the wall. I wanted to get something, and also the parts are interchangeable. So the same parts that I purchased for my Spectra pump can be used on the Motif breast pump. So stay tuned for that video. I think I'm going to go ahead and close out this video because I think I gave all of the updates that I can give that is available, because not too much have changed outside of, the news that we received during the anatomy scan, and then also, me feeling heavier, me gaining weight, me getting used to my body weight, I guess I would say, with the added weight of the baby, placenta, and amniotic fluid. I am currently weighing 180 pounds, which is beyond me because I started out at 145 pounds. So far, I've already gained 35 pounds. So I'm like, wow. But hey, it's all good as long as baby is getting all of the nutrients he needs and he's getting fattened up. I love me a chunky baby. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way of me being able to try and push him out. Oh, the fetal medicine doctor said that based off of my age, my height, and my weight, studies showed that I have a 59% chance of having a VBAC, which, like I mentioned before, the doctor that I have, the nurse practitioner told me about the doctor that I have is more than likely not going to do a VBAC, but I'm going to make sure that I can try my best to, as long as I'm not getting induced. And yeah, I was like, okay, that's really great news. I did not change doctors, and the main reason I did not change doctors is because of all of this that is going on. This doctor's office was able to catch these issues and to refer me out and to get me seen and to, do all of these other things. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't prolong anything by trying to switch doctors and having to wait for them to put in orders to do all of that. So I'm gonna just stay with this doctor's office because I do know that they deliver at the hospital that is closest to my home. And the other doctor's office that I was going to go to, it is in another county, so they may require me to go to a hospital in that county, which is a little bit further than where I stay. And I just don't know how things are going to go. So I don't want to put myself or my husband in that situation of trying to get me to the hospital, within a certain amount of time and dealing with traffic and all of that. But beyond that, everything else is great. Everything else is fine. We're not stressing over anything. We're just going to continue to pray. And we know that God got us. We have the faith. And yeah, so I'm currently getting ready for the baby shower, which is in 2 weeks. So I'm currently outside of the store because I need to get a few things for the gifts, the prizes for the games that we'll play at the baby shower. So I'm gonna go. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You know, I don't like to try and make these videos prolonged or long, so we get to the point and get out of there. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're experiencing anything like this or have experienced anything like this during your pregnancy, please drop a comment down below and tell me how things went for you and what helped you get through or make changes for yourself and for the baby. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and God bless.